Are we
Do you
go?
have any tracks?
Our Thunderbirds go? Thunderbirds are go.
Thunderbirds are go. You gotta go.
Thunderbirds are go.
What's that mean?
It means we're on.
Okay.
Welcome, welcome to Liquid Lunch. Thunderbirds are go.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Hi.
Yeah.
It is July 31st. Happy end of
2012.
July. 2012. And I want to say happy anniversary to my mom and dad. 59 years today.
That's great. Congratulations.
That's amazing. 59 years.
Where are they? Up in Sudbury?
No, they're here. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Oh, okay.
They're here. So, happy end of July. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, the end of July.
So we are more than halfway through the year. I cannot believe
Nothing's
this.
happened.
Well, that depends on your perspective. Because I know a lot of people who their lives are just falling apart. You know how many people I know whose relationships are breaking up? Tons. I can't even count them on both hands.
Why is that happening? Is it a conspiracy?
Well,
Why?
I guess collectively there is.
Is there?
I think so. Some of these people have been together married with children, the whole bit, and they're breaking up. It's unbelievable how many are breaking up. In this last month, it seems like every second person I'm meeting almost is a breakup.
Okay, here's a perspective on that.
Okay.
Okay, because I've been following this story closely for
Okay.
a while.
It's called The Breakup Story.
You know that song, the breakup song? Da, na 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 na. We should play that.
I don't know.
That's how
who
it goes.
sings
That's the actual lyric.
Oh, wow.
forget
That's because
who
when you break
sings
up, you're
it.
so upset you can't speak?
It's called the breakup song.
And is that like really crying? Like, nah.
Maybe. Okay, maybe it's like this. It's like this.
Okay, we should not audition
Why not?
for Superstars because,
I should, but not as a singer.
excuse me, thank you.
Right?
What a lot of support there.
But as a bass player,
Okay.
right? You could audition as a...
As a crybaby. That's what I'd call the band, the Crybabies. Nah.
Okay.
Sorry, you
All
were
right.
going to say
I don't
something.
even know what
I
I'm
think-
going to say. It's really hot today. It's the end of July. Nothing's
I know.
happened yet in the year. But it's like this.
Okay.
What if, because people have been talking about the breakup of the family, end of relationships for a long time, right?
Okay.
Since the 60s probably, right? And
Okay, so
sexual
not just this last
revolution,
month.
Sexual revolution, all that
Okay,
kind
that
of
probably
stuff.
has something to do with it.
So, what if it was like this? What if it's like there are rules, right? Starting with, say, the 10 Commandments, right? Just
Okay.
some rules.
Okay.
Okay? Right? People don't like rules, right? I mean, how do you feel when you come up against a red light? You wish you could go through the red light, don't you?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now imagine if everybody felt that way. Oh, we could just go through.
Everybody does
Let's get rid
feel
of
that
those.
way.
Let's get rid of those rules. Let's just go through the lights.
No,
red or
everybody-
not. And the thing is, it might in one way be good for that individual in that one instance, but everybody suffers as a result if you have that breakdown of the rule,
okay,
the law.
so there's a difference between everybody would like to go through that red light, but nobody does. Because most people realize, we have to share. There's a common ground, whether it's, whether you live in an apartment
Well,
building
let's get
or
rid
whether
of the
you're sharing
lights
your own.
then. The thing is,
Well, isn't that what they do in Montreal?
No, the lights are still there.
Yeah, but they
just put them
they're not
this way.
really there.
They put them this way instead of like this way.
Do they really? So they
Yeah.
really?
Has to be different.
Okay, but you would never know they're there. Right?
They should change the colors of the lights.
I think those lights are just like for decoration. I think they're just like for scenery because I think they go telepathically and kind of just go when they go.
You can turn right now. You can turn right on a red light in Quebec now, but not.
You couldn't before.
You couldn't before.
Okay.
But not on the island of Montreal.
Because they have to be different?
Because you can't trust people to turn right on a red light.
Do they have a lot of
guess.
cyclists there?
Yeah.
More than Toronto?
I don't know about that. Bruce Coburn moved there and rode his bike around. That's what that song is about, The Last Night of the World.
Wow. Have you ever driven your bike there?
I rode my bike from downtown Montreal to downtown Toronto.
No
Once.
way.
Yeah.
You did that? How long did that take?
It took 4 days.
So where did you stay? On the side of the road?
First night, I did it with my Norwegian friend. And first night we stayed at a little motel in Morrisburg. We got to Morrisburg,
Okay.
I think.
Never heard of it.
It was the first night. Second night, I had a friend who had a store in Kingston. So we slept on the floor of his store.
Like a convenience store?
No, it was like a clothing store.
Wow.
Right downtown
well,
Kingston.
so that wouldn't be too uncomfortable if you could just kind of take the clothes and kind of lay them on.
Well, that's what we did, right? But it was like.
But shh, nobody
But we
should
had a
know
lot
that.
of fun because downtown Kingston's a lot of fun, and we were like partying till like 3
Not
in the
like
morning.
Queens Universityville or something.
It's a university town.
Yeah,
We had a lot of
yeah.
fun, and then the next night we stayed at a little motel in Brighton. So I made it from Brighton to Toronto in one day.
Wow.
That was tough though.
Wow. So were you with your Norwegian friend the whole time, or did you drop that person off?
No, he was. No, we did. It was his idea actually
Okay,
to do the
so he
trip
came all
from
the way to-
Toronto
okay.
to Montreal.
Isn't that amazing?
I
Good
mean
for
Montreal
you.
to Toronto. Yeah,
Good for you.
that was fun.
Wow. And did you speak French in any of those stops?
Well, most of it was in Ontario,
Okay.
but a couple of times we had to stop for pit stops on the Quebec side of the border. We lost one guy. We started out with 3 guys. One guy dropped out the first day.
Oh, really? So what does drop out mean? What did he do? Where did he go? Took the train?
He,
home, or-
yeah, I guess he just found his way to a train. or
Can
something.
you take your bike on the train?
Well, I just look into that. I think you can take it on the GO trains, but I don't know if you can take it on the Via, or I'm not sure how that would work.
They probably have a cargo section. I don't think they would.
They might.
Because you know what? If people travel across the country.
Well, you know what I did? I had to ship my bike to Montreal.
Oh, how'd
Right,
you do
so
that?
I did that on the bus. It's easy to ship it on the bus, put it in a box, ship it to Montreal. I picked it up,
You put it in a box?
put it in a box, picked it up at the Montreal bus station.
Where
And,
do you find a box for a bike?
You go down to.
This is really important
There's
for
a
people.
Greyhound parcel. The Greyhound parcel depot is down on Front Street.
The
near
Greyhound Parcel Depot.
It's down on Front Street near. I know this is fascinating. Sherbourne, and you go down there and you know what happens. Sometimes people pick up their bikes there and they just leave the box. You can buy a box. I think it's $20 for the box, but there was an old one that a guy just left.
So you took it.
So I took that box.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty big box. Wow. That's amazing.
They make it it's specifically for the bikes, eh?
Isn't that interesting?
Oh yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. You have to take one pedal off though, and you have to loosen the handlebars and turn them sideways so that the bike fits in a smaller footprint.
Wow. So you have to make sure you have, I guess, a screwdriver with you.
Yeah, you need to have the right, but it's usually there's one Allen wrench that usually does 90% of all the stuff on a bike. So as long as you have that one Allen wrench,
You should be okay.
you should be okay.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, we've got a really busy show. Maybe if people show up.
Well, we've got some talent coming in, and artistic people have no concept of time. Right, Hugh?
Okay, I don't know. I do. Okay.
No,
wait,
you don't.
Wait, yes,
no,
I do.
you don't.
Why do you say that?
You don't have any concept of time.
What are you talking about?
Calls me less than 24 hours before. Can you do the show tomorrow?
Yeah. Anyway, it all worked out. Thank
But you know
goodness.
what? It works because I have no concept of time either. So like attracts like, okay?
Should we talk about some of the stuff we were talking about before the show?
Sure, I'm
Really?
all for that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I'm paranoid. I am very concerned about something. I must say I'm paranoid right now about something.
Okay, so whatever it is, your voice has all of a sudden gotten a ton more dynamic. So
Yeah.
there's clearly a passion
And here's what
here.
I'm paranoid about.
Come on.
Because here we are. It's we're more than halfway through the year. It's the end of July, 2012. The year everything's supposed to happen. Nothing's really happened yet, except for the relationships breaking up. But here we are. I'm concerned about the Olympics. I'm concerned about some big something going down. At
A
the
lot of people
Olympics.
said something was supposed to happen at the opening ceremonies, and nothing happened, right?
Well, now I'm
Or
getting
that we know of. Maybe something
information.
happened.
I'm getting information that it could be between the 2nd of August, which is like over
Thursday?
this weekend, basically Thursday through the weekend, through August 5th, or
What are
or
you-
at least until the Olympics is over.
Okay, so what are your sources? Should we even say?
Well, it's on YouTube, right?
Oh.
So I know it's true.
Yes. It's authentified. Is that even a word? Authentified. Authentified.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's authentified.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
I want to look that up because I somehow don't think there's such a
No,
word.
it's probably not. But it doesn't matter. We know what you mean.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, so I'm concerned that
You know
something,
what?
and in fact, I think if people can do anything right now, it's to kind of really hope and pray that there's,
You know
that the
what?
Olympics you finish and it's a fabulous event. Everybody has a really good time, and we can move on with some new great stuff.
You want to know my perspective on that?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, I think that it's hype. I don't think anything's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. I don't think anything's going to happen because people are expecting something to happen, so that would feed into it. So I think what will happen, if anything is planned, it will be they hype it to be around a certain period, and then people are all nervous, and then their guard is down after the weekend, and then it hits you.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I still don't want it to happen because
No, we don't want it to happen at all.
what they're saying is, the people who know, is they're saying that this event would be used to kind of propel the world, put it on a fast track to like a global police state, right?
How can this do that? How can that event do that? Like kind of like what we had
Look at
in Toronto?
9/11. Look at 9/11. Look what happened with 9/11. It was an
you mean
excuse.
something catastrophic as big as that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow, something
right?
that big.
Or maybe bigger, right? And the thing is, look what happened with 9/11. Whether or not you buy the story that it was Islamic terrorists, or whether it was an inside
Conspiracy,
job,
yeah.
regardless of what
Yeah.
the reality of the cause of it, the event was used as an excuse to implement the Patriot Act, take away the rights and freedoms of Americans, invade Iraq, invade
Yes.
Afghanistan, do all this kind of stuff, and it was the catalyst that allowed that to happen. So,
So do you think they're going to blame it? Okay, let's say something happens like that.
yeah.
Who do you think it's going to be? Iran?
Well, yeah, it seems right now there's a big move to somehow change the regime in Syria, and in fact, there's information out there to say that there was a plan to change the regimes in a whole bunch of Middle East countries: Egypt, Libya, Syria,
So is there?
Iran, and of course they've already changed the regimes in Afghanistan and Iraq.
So how about? Okay, are there terrorist groups in Iran that we know of? Like we knew of the Taliban, right? Or so what are the name of some of the terrorist groups that they have out there? Do we even know
Well,
of them?
Al Qaeda's the big
Al Qaeda's everywhere,
boogeyman.
even Iran.
Which apparently originally Al Qaeda was just the CIA's name for a database of people that they thought were into terrorism, right? It's been hyped up arguably as a big, like the big
Specific
red
group.
herring, the big enemy, like in 1984, I think there's always the big enemy that you got to fight, and Osama was everybody always makes that mistake.
Is that a Freudian slip?
No, it's not. But do you want to see this video? There is a video that talks about this London thing. Do you want to see it?
Yes, I do, actually. I do.
Okay.
Do they talk about the weekend coming up? August 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
I don't know if they specifically mentioned those dates, but
Okay.
they certainly mentioned the London Olympics.
When are the Olympics over?
I don't know. August, I don't know, a couple weeks into August, I guess.
How long are they? 3 weeks? Is it a 3-week?
It's, probably about that.
Okay.
So could we watch that video? It's number 10. And we'll watch at least part of
Wow.
it, and then we'll come back, and we got Val Shearman here.
Excellent.
We can talk about Superstars.
That was becoming a regular on the show.
Also, there's a possibility apparently the Queen was in meetings in London to whether they should have disclosure or not, that the aliens are here.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, well, we're going to say right here, right now, the aliens are here.
Okay. All right.
It's disclosed.
So let's watch this video. We're going to come back and continue here on Liquid Lunch. We'll be right back.
They're here. Look around you.
Declaring an emergency. We have 110 souls on board, 16,000 pounds of fuel. We've got manual override.
More than a year before the 7/7/2005 attacks, on the 16th of May 2004, an edition of the BBC One Panorama film broadcasted a mock exercise imagining what would happen if a terrorist attack was executed in London in the near future, consisting of 3 explosions on tube trains in the London Underground and 1 explosion on a road vehicle.
A nuclear attack on London. In bomb terms, the blast was relatively small, but the death toll wasn't. Over 100,000 incinerated and many more given a death sentence by radiation. For some people outside of the blast zone, life continued almost as normal. But after the attack, nothing in our country would ever be the same again. All we need is time.
How long?
5.5 hours.
5.5?
330 minutes.
Well, you sound very sure.
I am.
And we're back. So you
That
see,
is very scary.
is it scary?
Yeah. You know what? Now I can see why you were so
what?
scared. Because
Really?
that's really convincing.
I know.
Wow, that's pretty serious stuff. They did a really good
Now,
job.
Val, you said you saw that before, right? You saw that video.
Yeah, I've
before,
seen
right? What do you
clips.
think about it?
You know, I'm kind of superstitious in a way, so I don't know what to believe because there's so many different things rolling around out there. So you hear so many different things. I don't know. I think what will be, and I hope everything is peaceful.
Yeah, but you know, I
I
mean,
wish
some
for
of the
that.
points that they make,
Yeah,
it
they're pretty
seems like they're
convincing.
stretching, but boy, when you ask the questions,
Yeah.
like that 2012 turning it around to be Zion,
Yeah. But think about it. How many other dates have there been that they've been saying this?
Oh, yeah.
There's so many. So this is just another one.
Well, sure. In fact, I remember when we had the Olympics in Whistler, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
George Freund, who's here on that channel talking about stuff. I mean, he was talking
conspiracy.
about a boat
Yeah.
with a mysterious cargo that was like
Oh, right.
going from LA to, to Vancouver
That's
and
right.
stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just real concerned.
But you know
is
what?
concerning,
Isn't there
scary.
a truth behind every rumor, though? Like, how do
think
things
so.
like that start? They have to have something.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, but you remember the story of broken telephone?
Yes,
Well,
that's true. That's
it
true.
kind of
Good
gets bigger and
point.
bigger and bigger. This huge thing, and then if you go back to the original, it was like this little wee tiny baby.
yeah,
true.
and completely different
So
too.
I don't never know what to believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I just go by what I see.
Plus, I know a lot of these videos, like these conspiracy type videos, like that one there, right? It's like people are noticing patterns, right?
Yes.
Essentially, it's an exercise in recognizing patterns,
Right.
right?
That's
and
there.
ritual.
Well,
There's
Yes.
big on that.
All I'm saying is that human beings are pattern
Yeah.
recognizing machines. Like it's that
Right.
whole story about, you don't notice that car until you get one, and then that's
true,
all you
that's
notice,
true,
right?
that's true,
So you don't
that's
see
true.
the patterns until you really look
Yeah.
for them.
You're right.
And sorry,
And no,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I didn't mean to interject, but like the, I think it's also built to make people afraid. Those videos that they come out and it's a nice scenic scene, and then all of a sudden the scary
Yes,
face
yes,
comes in.
yes.
It's kind of like that.
I like those.
I know they're really scary. And but that kind of thing. It's kind of got that shock and awe kind of thing.
Yeah, it
happening.
does.
So I don't know.
Well, it's ominous too with that music.
is.
It's very
Scary.
ominous.
Yeah.
And the
From The
music
Omen.
is
Is it?
Yes, it's from The Omen.
Wow.
I recognize that soundtrack.
Wow.
They use that in all those kind of videos.
Yes, of
Right,
course.
it's
Like
the,
what
And they
Jaws
also-
is. Da, da, ba,
Yes,
da.
and they have it timed perfectly. So when they have this big bang sound, it smashes you with this video,
This
with this
climax of
visual.
the music.
Yeah, so it really grabs all the senses.
It
That's
does.
good editing.
Yes.
They did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job.
I know. I just believe in, good faith and, good people, and, I just believe what I see if I see it.
You know what's really it would be interesting to see if anybody who wanted to go to the Olympics did not go because they thought something
Because
would
they're
happen.
afraid, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm sure there were a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of
Probably.
people did not go for that
And it's also because of the whole 2012 thing, right? Everybody
Yes.
thinks it's the end of the world, right? So it's not just the Olympics; it's the year that the Olympics, and London is a big player in that whole conspiracy thing too, right?
Oh yeah.
And also viewership. Now, how many viewers were on that now? Did you count it?
I'll tell you. There's a number of that video's up a few different times. Some have.
Like a million.
Anyway, there's a lot.
Oh, there's a
of
lot.
Probably
So
over
there you go.
100,000. So
Viewership is
Yeah.
huge. Fear is up, and that's the whole thing.
So even in that, they're doing it. If there is any truth behind this, they're doing their job because
They are
that's what
doing
they
a great
want to
job.
do. They want to promote fear.
they're great
right?
promoters, like whoever these people
maybe it's
are.
just a conspiracy to stop Michael Phelps from setting a record with the number of medals. You think?
Maybe.
Hey, has it started yet?
Actually, it was funny. I watched one of his qualifying heats, the 200-meter butterfly last night, and he was up until the last lap. He was like in 4th or 5th place,
Oh,
Wow.
get out and don't. Tell
and then
me.
he came up and he won the lap. He came in first
How does
in the
that?
heat.
Okay,
The guy's
so
good.
do
Wow.
we think this guy's taking steroids?
No.
Wow. No, there's probably just a strategy in how to run and how to move
How to
in these
swim.
roads.
Yeah, but at
Well,
the
it's like
same
horse
time-
racing. You hold the horse back and then right at the end you go boom,
Well,
let
when
them
you're
go,
that
right?
good, you can.
Wow.
Although he's.
That's what I think.
Anyways, who cares about this?
My
Wow.
thought.
Okay, so
So how many medals do you think Michael Phelps is going to win?
She got
Like
in there. That's
probably a
good.
couple. I think he's doing one today or 2. He could win up to 2 medals today.
How
Wow.
many events is he in? Probably
I
every
don't
event
know.
he's in, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
okay.
Okay, I have a question. I have something I want to ask you though. Getting back to this 2012 stuff.
Yes.
Because now you talk about this. We were talking about this the other day. You were mentioning to me about, and Val, you can
Yes.
weigh in on this anytime.
Sure.
But when we talk about the quantum reality, right? And that like when you go
Quantum
away, you
reality.
disappear from my life for a little
Yes,
bit, and you
yes,
come back.
yes.
And in fact, it was weird because that's how I met Erin the other day. I was riding my bike to the event, and then I look over, and there she is in a car, and then we hooked up, and then she came over.
And when was the last time
Wow.
you saw Erin?
In the spring, I went to her birthday party. It was at a Vapor Lounge.
Oh. Oh, is that right?
Whatever that is.
What is that?
Are
I
you
don't know.
talking about when you think about somebody and then all of a sudden you see them?
Kind of like
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know. That's weird when that happens. I've had that happen to me several times.
But we were talking about in terms of quantum physics and quantum
Yes.
reality, nothing exists. Like when you leave here,
Yeah.
okay, you no longer exist for me.
Yeah,
I no
yeah,
longer
yeah,
exist
yeah,
for you. That's the
But your
actual
energy's
reality.
still here.
No, but it's weird.
No,
It's like weird
no,
stuff like that
no.
happens all the time. Like I've done it before, and you talk about if you ever read that book, the Seth books, right?
Oh,
Carlos
right.
Castaneda stuff.
Yes, that's
Right?
very strange with the mushrooms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the
but,
desert.
But also, I've got some weird stories too. Like I remember one time I was, hopelessly in love with this girl, and
Again.
and I,
Again.
and I don't know. I think most guys have been there. I don't know about you women, but
Sure, we
people
never
have all been
hopelessly
there
in
where
love.
you're so in love with somebody, and maybe it's not being returned, and you're just heartbroken,
Yes.
and there's nothing you can do but think about them. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Anyways, I was here in Toronto. I was living by myself at the time. Anyway, hot summer night. So I go out for a stroll just to like clear my head and just something. And I ran into her.
That is so weird. I'm telling you, it happens. What do you call that? It's,
Synchronicity?
No, it's there's a
Sure.
name for it, and I can't remember what it's called. When that's like destiny that you bump
Well,
into.
is it
There's gotta be
destiny
a
or,
reason.
or I mean, in the Seth
Serendipity.
books, she talks about you're actually creating, and I think the Carlos Castaneda too. You're actually somehow through the power of your thought, in a sense, you're creating
That's
an image of them, or that somehow, if we are in a quantum reality where everything happens in the metaverse, right? Well, we happen because we are the observer of that.
Correct.
Right.
We are creating that
That's correct,
encounter
yes.
with that person because that is one possibility, though it's extremely unlikely. It's one possibility, and so because we are the observer, we get what we expect, and this goes back to the whole power
Would that
of attraction thing.
Would that work with numbers?
Yes.
What do you mean?
So like the lottery. If you
course.
wish so much for those numbers, will they appear when they?
know
Well, you
what?
got to do it in the right way.
Oh,
But you know what? There was another parallel
basically what you're
reality, Hugh. There's another parallel reality where that girl returned your affections and you went off in the sunset
Yeah.
together. You know that?
That's true.
Because there's quantum, there's multiple verses, there's parallel
I know.
universes.
And I'm a firm believer of things happening because you're supposed to be learning something. So you learn something from that. What did you learn? What did you take away from that?
What, from that?
From that situation.
The encounter, or the fact that I had this?
Yeah, had this crush.
That she happened to you ran into her.
Then you ran into her, and then what happened?
What happened when you did run into her?
Maybe I learned something. Maybe I did. Maybe I learned that the value of a relationship.
Right?
Right?
That's true.
See, because that was not a coincidence that you ran into her. Your higher self energy brought that to you in order for you to clear or grow or transcend something. It's up to you to either transcend it, or you could become more bitter.
You could become more bitter.
That's your choice.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Move
where we
forward
have the
and learn
free will,
something
right?
from it. I actually wrote a song about that. It's funny that you're talking about that, because it's called Broken Hearted.
Yeah.
And it's exactly about that. I think you remember hearing me perform that at the Hard Rock Cafe.
I remember the first line. Doesn't it start, "Here I sit, broken-hearted"?
Yeah. Sit alone with the memories my heart couldn't save. That's the first line.
What a lovely voice.
Thank you.
Wow. You should audition.
That's okay. I'm already doing a record, so that's not fair. But that's why I like the hosting thing. But I'll perform. That's fun, and I like to mentor other artists. I really enjoy that.
And that's what the Superstars contest is all about, right, Val?
It is.
So let's talk a little bit about it.
I have a passion. I don't know why, and it's like what you're talking about with that. You know, I had that vision, and I want to help another artist do something in the music business, because I've found so many people are spinning around and they don't know where to go.
Especially in Canada.
And yeah, there's so many good entertainers, so many great songs, so many great things, on the arise for a lot of these artists, but they don't know where to go. They have no guidance.
Or support.
Yeah,
There's
support.
Not a lot of support.
And they go on the internet, and they're given so many different opportunities, and they don't know where to go. So that's what the show is all about. It's about original music.
Yeah, which is great. But also, I think the other thing, too, is that not just artists, but the whole music industry is in a bit of a quandary, because they don't really know. Nobody knows. The record companies don't know. Nobody knows what the path to success is, what the path to monetary sustainability is in this new environment, right? Even the record companies don't know how to sell records.
Is there even a path to monetary sustainability?
Well,
I've been doing a lot of research, and the thing that I found, too, a lot of artists think, okay, I can put out my own CD and put it out myself. There is a lot to that, but there's so much more. Okay. Having one of those bigger conglomerates help you get out internationally is really good.
So when you say bigger conglomerates, you're talking about a label?
Like bigger labels.
Okay.
And it's different nowadays. Years ago, people would get label would put money into them. As a brand new artist, they might put maybe $100,000 or $250,000 to developing this artist and growing with them, so they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums.
They're a marketing machine, right, Val?
Marketing machine. That's exactly what it is. So somewhere along the way, and I only say it because I've worked in radio for very many years, and I worked in the record company business. And I found that they get stymied. They don't know where to go. So the labels are still there, and they want to help. But because of all the independent stuff going on, they kind of get lost. And then the artists don't trust the labels. They think they're going to take something from them, and they're not. They're just trying to help them get out there and create this new artist. Of course, they're going to get something for it. But it's not like in the old days they took everything. They don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't.
I think there is a big stigma about that still, though, because you hear a lot of those stories.
That you do. And they're bad stories.
Yes, they are.
Because it did happen.
Yes.
But nowadays, they can do a license deal. They can do their own album. They still have to look for a license deal, so the labels still have to qualify their product as is sellable. And then they get a license deal, and then they put it out there, and they have to do shows like crazy.
But does that mean they don't put as much money in a new artist as they used to then?
It's different nowadays. A lot of even the artists that you see out there today, they back themselves up.
Even if they're signed? Sorry.
Yeah. They put a lot of their own money into themselves. I'm sure a lot of these people, like Lady Gaga and all, they put their own money into this, too.
Really?
I'm sure they do.
Wow.
Yeah, as far as their live shows go, getting themselves out there.
Really?
Yeah.
So that would be really new. So they're less owned, if you will, right?
I think what's happened is because there is so much talent.
That's right.
In the say the 60s, okay? There weren't that many good bands around.
No.
Right? Because it was a whole new thing. So the record companies actually, and there was this huge demand for good music, the record companies actually had to have scouts to go out there and find the
did.
good bands.
Yeah.
But then what
I remember
happened, you
doing
had
that
more and
myself.
more and more and more bands, right? And
Yeah.
then they were submitting their tapes more and more and more to the record companies.
That's
The
right.
A&R people started to get overwhelmed,
That's right.
right?
Didn't
And so to the point where it's like, keep it away. It's just too
Yeah.
much. You can't deal with it
Yes.
all. Can't possibly promote all this music, right?
Yeah.
To the point where it finally got to, forget about finding a band. What we're going to do is we're going to do the market research. We're going to say this is what kind of band is going to like capture the market. We're going to put an act together.
Right.
So you get bands like the Backstreet Boys
Wow.
and
Is that how that
Yeah.
came about?
you know, and all that kind
Well-
of stuff. Fabricated musical.
So that's, it's
Yes.
really about the business, not about the
Yes.
music.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a little bit of both now, but I mean, somehow we lost the idea of the song. It's about the song. And I didn't like that, you know, because there's some really good songs. Have you ever heard somebody's song, you go, wow, why is
yeah,
that out there right
For a
now?
lot of
we
great
had
hits.
an artist on the last
Oh.
show we did.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
song
yeah,
was
yeah. That's
amazing.
true.
It's called Fly Away.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm listening to it all
I
the
know.
time.
And so I think we've lost that thing about the song. But when the song does come out, like remember Nan coming up with that song, like it grabs the public and they go, oh, and they're singing it all the time.
Who?
The
Nan.
guy that was on the last show here?
Yeah, no, he's from Nan. I can't remember
Nan.
the flag, waving flag. You know, so everybody was singing that waving flag
oh,
song.
I know
I don't know.
that song.
I
You don't know that
Yeah,
song?
oh my God.
maybe
God.
you're
He knows it. He knows it.
I
He
know
just-
you know it.
Yeah, believe
Because
oh,
everybody was singing the waving flag song. Who was Nan? So all of a sudden, Nan, that song became huge. So how did that happen? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm looking for a song with an artist. Could be a whole band. Doesn't matter.
The guy that
song.
we had on last show we did,
Oh,
guy
is
you
that
brought
right?
up.
Yes. Oh, wonderful.
What was it?
that song was phenomenal.
Oh, I know.
could so hear that song on the radio.
I know. He
That
is
should be
great.
on the radio right now.
He's in the same studio that I'm working with. And he's doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, and he's one of your contestants, right? One of the guys.
Well, he's a mentor because he already has a licensed deal. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. He can't be part of the contest because he already has what I'm trying to give away.
Yeah, exactly.
So but I brought him on as a mentor so that the other artists can see, oh, okay, that's
This
what
is
he's
what it's
done.
all
He's-
about.
You know, and he went to the studio. He's paid for it himself,
Yeah.
and then he went out and got himself a licensed deal. He had to search for one and get those people behind him, and that's exactly what kind of package we're trying to give away.
wow, that's amazing.
So
Wow.
if that explains it a little bit more, and also they can go on the website and see. Or come out on Thursday night and just try out on stage. So it's going to be fun.
Thursday night, where?
Thursday night at Wise Guys.
Wise Guys.
Yes.
Fabulous place. I
Yes.
went there. Val, you told
Thank
me
you.
about it. I went out
What's
there,
the
checked it
address?
out.
Yeah.
What's
I-
the address?
2301 Danforth.
Danforth.
Yes.
Is it 2301?
I believe it is.
So it's on the south side of Danforth,
South
a little
side.
bit west of main
Yes.
station.
They can get right
Near-
off it.
just past the Sobeys.
Yes. And it's right across from the Honda dealership, and they can
Okay.
just get off at Main and walk up, or they can get off at Woodbine and walk down. It's kind of like in the
Halfway.
middle.
Yeah.
So
You know.
so Thursday, August 2nd.
Yes, at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And bring your song, bring your guitar. It's got to be original
Got to be
music.
original, but you could also just do it solo, right? With
Yeah,
no
you
music.
just play your guitar, bring a track if they have a track.
Can you-
Okay.
Bring
can
a
the whole
CD.
band play?
Sure, whole band. We're all ready for
You
a
get
whole
drums?
band. We do have drums, yes.
Oh, okay. That's
So we have
awesome.
drums, but everybody else has to bring their own amps
Okay.
and their own guitars.
Own amps, own guitars, bass,
Yeah.
but the drums are there.
Drums are there.
So if they do have a drummer, they should not bring their drums. Is drum because
well,
it's
some
already
drummers
set on
like
the
to bring
stage.
their own snare and their
Okay.
own sticks. You know, it's good for them to
A
bring
lot of
their own.
drummers
little-
don't like to do any work.
I know, so they you know it as well
But
as
you know
I
what?
do.
But you know what? In fairness to them, okay, they work when they're playing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
heck of
That's
a lot
true.
of work being a drummer.
And
That
you
is
know
true.
what? I just said this to the guys in the band the other day. I can understand when people pick an instrument. Okay, I'm going to be a guitar player. I'm going to be a bass player.
Yeah.
Who the heck wants to be a drummer?
Yeah.
It's like, look at all that gear you got to pack up and
Yeah.
unscrew.
You know, but it's funny how you're drawn to certain
I
instruments.
know.
Like some people can, because I was playing with my band last night,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
Ken, who's a guitar player, when he was in high school and
Mm-hmm.
he signed up for the band, he said the first thing he put down, he had to pick 3 instruments.
Wow.
Number 1 choice was the drums. He just wanted to play the drums.
Yeah,
right?
see? Hooked them in.
Guess what his 3rd choice was?
Let me guess. It has to be guitar.
No.
Oh,
Bass.
percussion?
You know
Tuba?
How it is. You know how it is
A
in, high,
wind
in high
instrument.
school, right?
Oh.
Tuba. And he was the only guy that put tuba down in any of his choices. So guess
Is-
what? He played the tuba. They gave the
No
tuba.
way.
They
I
didn't
don't
let
know
him play
any
the
tuba
drums.
players.
You know what? I think I'd rather carry the drums than the tuba.
I wonder if what more heavy.
Isn't it huge?
Yes, they're
It's big.
huge. Your hardware for the drums is just as heavy, I'm sure.
Wow.
But
But
then there's
you-
the drums.
Yeah. See, a lot of people want to play the drums because it's really, you get your frustrations out, right? But
Yeah.
when you realize everything you have to do for it,
At the end of the night, you're tired, and who wants to pack up their drums? And most guys say, "Can I pick it up tomorrow?"
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that.
and do they let them? No, right?
Some clubs, they don't mind if you store them in the corner and then you come pick them up next
You know,
day.
you get down to it. You after enough time, you develop a roadie sensibility.
Yes.
And it's like, you know what?
Get used to
I
it.
know I got to tear. We used to practice twice a week, Val, and we would have to set up the complete setup.
Wow.
Like taking all the equipment, a full
yeah.
band setup,
Speakers,
setting it all
bop,
up from
bop, bop.
scratch. And you know what? Got down to a point where it was like 20-minute job. It
Yeah,
was just done.
that's right.
And
We
then
can set it
packed
up in
tore
half
it
an
down,
hour.
Packed it up.
Wow.
If
That's
we're not
amazing.
stopping and talking to too many people, we can have it set up in half an hour, and I can have a sound check done in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you get
Wow.
used to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
After a while.
And you also get used to the people you work with, too.
You get used to
So you
their
kind of-
sound, the way they hit or
and
way
you-
they play.
Yeah. And even
Yeah.
when you're setting up, you kind of get used to the way people move and the timing of what people do.
You're
and so
right.
you can work with it or work
'Cause you're a
around
team.
it. Yeah.
You're
That's that
essentially a team.
synergistic thing, right?
Yes.
That's not how it worked in our band.
Oh.
Basically, it was up to me to do everything.
No.
That's
Yes.
not fair.
No, it's not fair.
Okay, so Val, you have to go to his
That's the
band.
story of my life.
Now you have to go to his practice and you have to tell them.
Yes.
Because you know
definitely.
what?
I will go with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You
Definitely.
should come, Val.
I
want you to
would
come.
love to.
One of these days.
One of these days, no problem. You let me
we'll
know,
come
and I
out
will be
and
there.
You're going to have a fabulous time.
Oh, I
Maybe
know.
she can jump on board and sing some
Sure.
stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm good at singing
In fact,
harmonies, too.
You know what we're good at? You can just name a song, we can play it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're one of those bands, eh?
Well-
That's great. They call them jukebox bands.
Yeah.
Wow.
That means that you can throw any song at them and they
you
can play
can.
it.
Seriously, Hugh?
Pretty much.
That's good. Any style song? Any
like
style
name
music?
name a song right now, and I'll tell you if we can do it.
Okay, I'll be nice. Okay, Honky Tonk Woman. That's pretty standard. Now.
What's
It's
that?
not
Who's
fair.
That? Elton John? Is that Elton John?
Honky Tonk Woman?
No.
Who does it?
No, the Rolling Stones.
How does it go?
I'm at a gin-soaked bar,
Oh, yeah, we can do that
Queen,
one, for sure.
Memphis.
Yeah, we can do that one. Okay, what else? Give me
Okay,
another one.
Okay, how about let's sit.
Don't be nice.
Something not
Can-
something
Do
absurd.
you think I'm sexy?
There you go. Rod Stewart.
He's thinking.
He doesn't know the
You know
song.
what? No, you know what? I'm not.
Thinking.
I'm doing a Miss You. I got Miss You going through my head.
Okay, that's a different band.
I know, but
Yeah,
If
but-
you want my body.
yeah, we
If
could probably
you
do a
want
little
my
bit.
body
Okay, do another
and
one.
it
Yeah,
doesn't-
yeah. What else?
Okay, another one. You try one. You pick one.
Like a virgin.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
ding,
see, they
ding,
might be
ding,
able to play
ding,
me. There you
ding,
go.
ding, 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 ding,
That's
ding,
it.
ding, ding,
Don't lie.
ding, 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 ding,
Wow.
It's you, da, 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 da. Yeah, that's I'm
Wow.
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Very good. So he's thinking
I'm
bass because he's a bass
amazed,
player.
Yeah.
So he's got the
Ding,
bass.
ding, ding,
That's
ding, ding,
good.
ding, ding.
See, you can.
Wow,
Now,
I'm
they might not be
impressed.
able to sing it because they
Yeah, but
sound
that's
really
what's good
funny.
to have you there.
That's
to
right.
sing, right?
And then I get up there, and then 9 times out of 10, most people that do that, either they know some of the lyrics or maybe not all the lyrics, and you get up and do the parts the best you can. So it's always good to have the words. But you're right, that's a really good thing
Hey,
to do.
you've blown it all sky high.
That's a song.
Blown it all sky high.
Na, 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 yeah.
I thought I would.
Who does that
Stump
song?
you.
Pilot?
I have no idea.
I think it's Pilot.
I think
was
it is
really-
Pilot. I'm going back to my Q107 days ago, trying to do
Oh my
music
God.
trivia.
Wow. I was a kid. I used to love that song. Oh
I
my
know.
God, that was such an amazing song. I
Yeah.
loved it, loved
Yeah.
it, loved it.
Yes. Oh, I know.
I
There's some
can't
really
believe
great
you guys
songs.
even know that song. I thought this was like
course.
Giving away our ages. That's okay.
Okay, let's do another one.
Okay.
This is fun.
Oh,
Then we'll get
trivia.
We're gonna get Max on the show.
Okay. Actually, Max, call out a song. See if he knows it.
Yeah, Max.
Pick a song.
Night Moves by Bob Seger.
Night Moves by
Night
Yeah,
Moves
we
by
could do
Bob
that.
Seger.
Sure, we could do that.
Wow, that's a great artist to pick too from the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really.
Could you do Night Moves? Right.
Yeah.
That's how it
Give
goes.
me the first note.
That's a tough one, though. I mean,
Is it?
Bob Seger. I can't remember any of the Bob Seger stuff that I would have covered. Oh, are you calling? Are you saying
Against the Wind. by Bob
Against the Wind or
Seger.
Dust in the Wind?
I couldn't tell
Okay,
either.
I wasn't sure. There's
Well,
two.
we could do Dust in the Wind too.
And what band doesn't know how to do Hotel California?
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
a tough song, but I mean, a lot of bands.
It's not
don't.
that tough.
No, that's good. I mean, we had it thrown at
Okay,
us the
can
other
you do
night. We
national
did it.
anthems?
Only the Zambian.
I'll be the
national
Zambian.
anthem.
That's a
Zambian.
good one.
What is the?
That's a
What
good
is
one.
It's
Can you
true.
sing it?
No.
Oh,
Zambian?
I went. No, I'll tell you.
Oh.
A little trivia about Zambia, because I went to a celebration once of the Zambian Independence Day, and in
Wow.
fact
Good.
won
Good for them.
a big tapestry from Zambia, and
Wow.
Is that great? Or
apparently I looked it up. The Zambian national anthem was written by a Canadian.
It's written by a lady?
A Canadian.
Oh, Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that neat? How does that work?
I was going to say.
What happens is you get laid off from your job, then you,
I know where this
you
goes.
hang up a shingle and say, my new job is to write national anthems for emerging.
Wow.
That's great.
So my new
Countries.
job is to try to get Hugh to learn all the national anthems in the world.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, I'm okay
Well, especially with
with
all, everybody separating and starting their own
American
country
and
now.
Canadian. That's about it.
What?
Oh,
Canadian one?
Canada and
The American
Spangled
one.
Banner?
How about the
Yeah.
American one? Well, they have a great national anthem.
yeah, that's a really good song.
It's a really good national
How about the London? What is
I've
theirs?
done that old Canada at
Oh,
the
God Save the
games at the
Queen?
Rogers Centre.
God Save the Queen?
I'm not sure what the official British one is. It could be God Save the Queen. It
But
could
how about
be,
everybody
It
else?
must be God Save the
Rule
Queen.
Britannia.
But if God saves the Queen, how about everybody else?
Yeah, I
Exactly.
haven't really researched that part of it.
Speaking of which, okay, do you want to take a little break right now?
Sure.
First of all, we're going to tell people how they can sign up for the Superstars
Okay.
contest, superstars.ca.
Yeah, Superstars with a Z,
Yeah.
.ca. They can go online and read through the whole contest, and they can actually apply online, or they can come to this
Auditions.
Thursday's show. And then we're
First
gonna
set of
have two more.
auditions, right?
Yes, it's first out of three.
Out of three.
And
So,
they can also sign up online. So if they don't want to be there,
Beautiful.
but if they do sign up, they're going to be, this will come to me. I will receive this, and then we'll book
piece
them
of
here
paper.
on the show.
So that, no, okay, so now Thursday, so they don't even have to sign up, they can just show up
They just show
at
up.
Wise Guys?
Yes.
And what time?
7 to 11.
So, okay, great. So
Yeah.
show up
Wow.
with your band or with your performance.
and
with
one
your
song
CD.
they're performing?
One song, maybe two. Be prepared for two.
Be prepared for two.
But one
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
And it has to be original.
It has to be original.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, great.
Other than that, we're giving away some great prizes valued at $25,000. So
Wow, that's
it's going to be a
amazing,
whole
Val.
music business package, right from
Wow.
recording, right to releasing, radio airplay, art and manufacturing, everything.
So it's really about learning about the business
It's-
of
yes.
it as well. So that's
And hopefully
really,
they'll
so
learn
it's-
something.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's really, really good.
So I really want to connect with them and get better still, get them networking with the right people.
Okay. All right,
Beautiful.
so let's, I don't know what we're going to do next here, Val. We're waiting for, we've got
Francis is supposed
Francis Lazaro coming on the show today. We've also
Yeah.
got Sharmini. We didn't even say this yet. We're halfway through the show, and we haven't even said who's coming on the show.
to be. Oh, dear.
See what happens?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we have Sharmini
Okay,
Gana
sidetrack.
coming on.
Wow, you know what?
Later, too.
Sharmini needs no introduction because she's amazing.
And Max Brand is in the house.
Yes,
I don't know if we're going to get him on. But
Yeah.
you know what? Now, Val, here's one thing I'm concerned about.
yes,
You know, I mentioned earlier what I was
Second thing
concerned
you're
about.
concerned.
Because we're talking about the music business now.
yes.
And
True. Good topic.
because what I hear, because I do my research on YouTube,
Okay, yeah.
if it wasn't true, it wouldn't be on YouTube.
That's
we know
right.
that.
You got that.
That's
right?
Okay,
Apparently,
all right.
did you hear this, Val? That if you want to make it big in the music industry, you have to sell your soul to the devil. Did you hear that?
Oh, I've never.
And
I kind of heard something like that.
And every record company has a satanic chapel in
Wow.
the building, and as soon as the master is finished, they take it up to the chapel, and they do a ritual. They get
Are
a
you
coven of witches
serious?
in, and they put secret messages
wow.
in on the music.
So do you think that, Madonna is part of this and Lady Gaga is part of this?
Oh,
and
maybe.
I suspect Lady Gaga is.
Oh,
A lot of the
maybe.
hip hop guys.
Yeah.
Really?
And I saw one hip hop guy was wearing the rings of immortality.
Yeah, they're always doing this thing right all the time. Yeah, I know.
You know?
But what happened to good old talent? Just talent.
Just too much talent. You need something more.
Here's the thing.
Val.
Wait, no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, what happened to good old talent? How many people have made it big who would you consider talented? I'm sorry.
How many? Yeah.
But okay, like let's, really, who is really talented, who has made it compared to what we see at places like Wise Guys?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
so when you think, okay,
I'll tell
these
you who's
people are so talented.
Elton John is extremely talented.
And could you say Elvis is talented?
Elvis, yes,
Yeah.
but how about some of these modern? I think that's when it was more about the artist. Now, since it's become a business, like you were talking about, like the whole Backstreet Boy thing, a business machine. How many of these people? I mean, can they write? Can they play?
Yeah.
I saw
You're
Katy
right,
Perry.
right?
I'll tell you what. I saw Katy Perry doing a live thing with a live band.
Yeah.
Wasn't that good?
Really?
Just wasn't that good.
Oh. Okay.
And there's so
There's
much
a
we
trick
can
to
do in the
live and
studio.
recording.
Oh, it's totally
There's a big
different.
difference.
It's a totally different
You have
experience.
to play a lot with your band to get it down.
But not only that, sometimes things work live, and sometimes they work in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes
And
they
they
work in
don't
the studio, they
translate.
don't work
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
Right?
That's where
And
you
it's
have to be
just
creative
interesting.
and drop the songs that don't really work well live.
Yeah.
And just be creative that way. That's what we do.
And as a live band, there's an art to choosing the songs.
You're right. There really is an art to choosing songs.
The ones that work live.
That's right. That's right. And picking a song for your band is very, very important.
Yeah.
And I used to be the one that used to have a band back in my days of rock years ago. I always did songs that I liked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about that. It's about songs that you can perform well.
Yeah, exactly.
I might like that song, but I don't perform it well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to pick songs that you can, perform well.
Wouldn't you normally pick a song that you like, that you perform well? Like, isn't that one of the reasons?
Not really.
No? Here's okay. For example, let me give you an example.
yeah.
So we wanted to do a David Bowie song, right? So what would you think? What would you want to do? Yeah, I'd probably pick Space Oddity.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right? What would
That'd
you
be
pick
cool.
as a David Bowie song?
Yeah.
What would you pick?
Well, is Under Pressure considered a David Bowie song?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I
What would you pick, Val?
I'd pick
I mean-
Under Pressure.
Okay. Anyway, a lot of things you could choose. A lot of great songs.
Yeah.
Right?
China.
But the one that we found out really worked, and it did not occur to us, but when we played it live, it just kills,
Really?
is Gene Genie. And
Oh, Gene Genie. Oh
Right?
yes. That's
but
a
we
great
didn't
song.
know that, like we were, it wasn't even one we wanted to consider, but when we
Yeah.
started to play it live, it just killed.
See, there is a big difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Wow.
About what you like and what works well when you play it together as a group.
So what do you look for? Do you start to understand, okay, this one's not going to work because of this? Like before we even try it out, you start to get a pattern like you were talking about earlier.
Certain things work live energetically.
Energetically.
And
you're
also,
right,
it's just got to be compatible with the way that the band is, too.
and
right?
not too many ballads. I find too many ballads, and do songs that go together. Like we in my band will do 3 songs in a row. We'll end one, it continues on to the next, and then continues on. Then we let the audience have a break.
Okay, that's
Then,
great.
you
So
know.
that's great. So you don't stop and talk all the time.
No, not all the time.
That's great.
We just keep the show going.
Because I think a lot of people prefer that because they get into the groove of listening to
Yeah,
the
they
music,
want you to
and then you
play.
really break the momentum when
Yes.
you talk every single time. Do you guys do
Oh.
that?
It's funny you should ask. We're trying, you got to be good. You got to be really well
Yes.
rehearsed to be able to carry that through like that.
Yeah.
So we actually had a conversation about that very issue last night and a
Yeah,
strategy
sure.
of how
Yeah,
to do
that's
that. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a big thing with bands.
Yeah,
That's why
because-
we try and do that.
And how many bands have you seen? And I've seen a lot. In fact, our band's guilty of it too. It's like you don't really have it together. You don't have your set well practiced. You
Yes.
might know the songs, but not together in a set.
Yeah.
And you stop, and somebody's got a tune, and nobody's sure what the next song is, and you've lost the crowd.
Yes,
you
you
might even
lose
have
it.
people on the dance floor, and the next thing you know, they're sitting down.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't wait for the band to get.
You know when you
It's
have
a-
the crowd. And what I do is I make sure there's a set list and all the guys have one. And sometimes we wander
Wait,
from
I'm
the
writing
set
that down.
list.
Sounds
Yeah?
like a good idea.
Yeah, it's a set list. And you have that, and then the guys don't or not say, okay, what's next, Val? It's like they have it in front of them. Unless I say, let's change it. There's a
Yeah.
birthday party
Right,
going. They
right.
want to hear this, so we'll break it up a bit.
Yeah.
So it depends.
But see,
on what you're playing.
you can break it up. You can do that. You have that luxury when you
Sure.
have the structure.
Yes, when you have the structure.
If you don't have that structure, then it's just let's just throw
Right.
the dominoes up and see where everything lands.
Yeah, and it's true. You have to work as a group. You really have to know each other really well.
Well, you know what
and play a lot.
I find that bands have a collective personality.
Yes.
Yep.
I find I have that with my band. Well, I think I do. I mean, most.
You got a good band.
Yeah, I think
your
that
band.
we work well as a team. We're all really motivated. We all want the same things, so we don't have issues, none of us. So you're going to bump into that from time to time, but I'm telling you, folks, don't worry about it. You can get through it. You just work through it.
Yeah.
There's little tricks to doing that, and it's just camaraderie.
Yeah.
Just working together.
Well, chemistry.
Understand your feelings. You'd understand my
Trust.
feelings. How you
And
feel.
trust. You gotta
no
really
ego and
trust.
no ego, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times, the vocals want to hear their
Yes,
vocals
more.
up a little more, and then the drums want to hear their drums more. So everybody's just like competing for volume.
You're right. And remember who is in the band. If you're the bass player, you're the bass player. If you're the drummer, you're the drummer. If you're
Yes.
the guitar player, you're the guitar player.
Yes.
And everybody gets a chance to do a song. But remember who your lead singer is, because they're heading the band. Even though they're part of your group, they're still leading the band.
So is there more pressure?
A little bit more pressure, but I do remember the guys, and they have their own songs, so I allow them to do their own stuff too. Mm-hmm. And so everybody has their own music in there.
And that's really important.
So it's good. Yeah, you got to remember, have feelings for them too.
Okay, Val. Well, we look forward to your CD when it's going to be out. We want to hear it.
Yeah.
And,
I
some
hear
of those
it's
songs.
amazing.
Thank
so
you.
fun.
Now, so again, people, don't forget to register Superstars
Yes.
with a Z.ca for the contest and get your musical
Great
career
contest.
kick-started.
Good luck.
And also now I'm going to play this. I got a video here of
Oh,
Val.
great.
This is going to teach people what they need to do to really make it in the business. And
Great.
that is you have to.
Sell your soul.
I don't want to say
Okay.
it. But,
Yeah, I wanna see
this
this.
is a music
I don't
industry
think I've seen
insider
this one.
talking about what is really necessary. If you really want to do that, I don't think you should. I don't recommend it. But
I
let's
don't
watch
know.
this. We're going
I
to
don't
come back.
recommend it, but I'll look at it.
We will carry on here on Liquor Lunch.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts on that. That would be interesting
Sure,
to
I
get your
will.
perspective on that.
I sit on a council of 13 people that take orders only from the Rothschild Tribunal in London, which they claim they take their orders directly from Lucifer.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions, its name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what they call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises, and Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil's owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It was one of my jobs as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. Crosby, Still, Nash & Young. And I saw David the day before Christmas last year, talked with him. I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around to people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, now I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He said, come on, Lance, you know what the reason is. I said, please, David, I don't want to guess. Tell me what the main reason is. He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I'll explain what that means in a minute. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He says, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. I said, thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master's cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room and a pentagram engraved in the floor. and 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards in a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't wait to find a rock station somewhere and they sneak off just like getting a cigarette or a fix because it's addicting. That's why they can't give it up. The rest of the conversation was this. You can't cast a spell on a Christian, but you can get a Christian to cast a spell on themselves. If you give the permission for the spell to work, being a Christian won't block it. And rock music is not just a song. It is supernatural music that which is carefully designed by their spirit guides or familiar spirits in the form of spells. Now, although the devil's music's power is the music and God's music is the words, much of the songs are written in what we call witch language. Give you kind of an idea. Many of you talk on a CB, unless you know what a smoky is, and a 10-4, and a front door and back door and rocking chair and these type of things. You don't know what you're talking about. Same with witches. When you're in the first and second level, you have to learn over 2,000 words that said by anybody else mean something totally different than when you say them. Elton John has said he's never written a song or sung a song that wasn't in witch language. Now I want to show you something. See how many kids in here, be honest, and adults. How many remember and have heard at least several times a song called Hotel California? Somebody tell me what it meant. Quickly, somebody tell me what it meant. Huh? That's pretty close. But from the words, what did it mean? Well, that's more of a guess. See, most people can't tell you. That's why when people do drugs and they listen to songs in which language, they get some of the meaning. But most of the time, they can't tell you. Stop and think how many songs are out there that you really like, and you don't have any idea what the person was talking about. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road? How about The Destroyer by Kiss? Can anybody tell me what it's about? Kiss said in it, kids, kill your parents. They're talking about Helter Skelter. Beatles sung Helter Skelter in which language? Nobody knew what it meant. Manson did because he belonged to the process. Helter Skelter is a several thousand-year-old word. Most of the music is either about Helter Skelter or a place called the Night Winds, which is what Hotel California is about, and different doctrines of witchcraft. You listen to them, your parents let you listen to them, and they have no idea. Kiss openly bragged how they were gaining control of people through their music because the people played their music. They told how they didn't form their own group. Their church, because they were ordained ministers of the Satanist church, placed them together. And that's how most of the music is done. David Crosby, when him and Crosby, Still, Nash & Young produced the record Two-Way Street, they ordered the principality of Medici to order demons of rebellion to go into the record, and everybody that heard it would be rebellious against law and order and government. And it was one of the reasons for the great upheaval in the 60s was that one album, and they take open credit for it.
I have personally talked with Johnny Todd on the basis of Jack Chick's recommendation. Having known Johnny Todd now for more than 4 years, and my having known him for some 6 months, I believe that Johnny Todd is a genuinely converted man, saved by the grace of God out of the depths of Satanism.
Wow, it's like the theme of the show today, the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Wow.
And we have
That's pretty scary.
Now Max Brand, you just witnessed that. What do you think of that stuff?
Well, it's pretty real to say the least. I mean, it's something that I would like to just take a look at and maybe pass it on to everybody. I mean, I just heard just some 6 snippets of it. And it's quite interesting, but some may think it's like, I don't believe in all this, spiritual thing what John Todd is referring to. I don't know who this John Todd is, but some may think like the guy's crazy.
But I think a lot of people think this guy is making a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's making sense. It's just that, it's like where all this is coming from. Like, what does this have to do with spirituality in general?
Well, no, it's about making it in the rock business. Like what he's saying is that, like certain people, and I've heard people, and I think Katy Perry has been accused of this, Bob Dylan, and
Rolling Stones?
maybe the Rolling Stones
Wow.
too, and a lot of other ones. All those Jay-Z, all those hip hop guys doing the old. Don't show this and say that I was doing it. I'm just demonstrating.
What is that supposed to be?
That's
pyramid?
the one eye.
Oh, the
Anytime
one
you see
eye.
Rihanna, with the one eye.
Rihanna? She does it too?
Apparently. And so, they're saying that these people have actually, sold their souls for rock and roll.
Well, that could be true. I mean, no matter what music it is, that you're going to sell your soul to anything in wanting to, to stay on top. I mean, like, I sold my soul for almost 20 years of doing what I love to do, even though I've never been, like, been played on any mainstream radio, or, I have been on television, I have been on, this program. I pretty much, have been a local celebrity for about 9 years, and it's pretty much I've got a devoted audience of people that know who I am. The fact is that I haven't yet made it to the next level of being like a mainstream entertainer.
But I don't think you've sold your soul,
He
Max.
said he sold his soul.
Yeah,
Max,
what does that mean?
Did you really sell your soul? I don't think you did. But
I sold my soul of what others will think of my performance.
What do you mean?
Well, it just kind of like it's just showing what I really am as a human being.
That's not selling. How's that selling
No,
your
you're
soul?
just
I think
being
it's
yourself.
being authentic.
Just being myself. That's it. That's what I mean by just being myself. Selling my soul, of being myself.
Okay.
Of what I'm able to give out to the audience that's there to be entertained.
Okay, so let me ask you something, Max. So you said you haven't yet broken through to the bigger level yet. If somebody came up to you, Sony or a big record label came up to you and said, okay, Max, we're going to make you a huge hit like Justin Bieber here in Canada. We're going to give you that kind of success, but you got to compromise your morals and your integrity and do what we tell you to do instead of doing the songs necessarily that you would like to do. Would you do it?
Well, if I was younger, I would have said yes.
Okay.
But now that I'm older, like I'm 40 years old, I would say, listen, I'm going to do what I love to do. I'm not going to, I can cater my song lyrics to the audience, but it's just going to always be old school to me. The way it's been played, the way it's been heard. I could have a few, a few guest people here and there, but it's just really, I'm going to keep the music the way I want it to be sound. The way it's always meant to be. Artists would say, it's going to remain always the same. It will have some, similar things of what's happening in today's world, but my music, if it's like anything that Leonard Cohen did like 40 odd years ago, or, or anything that, the Beach Boys done, which I think were at their best of their craft, I will kind of stick to what I always felt was my, maybe every few albums I've done have, has had a merit of something strong.
Max, would you ever sell your soul to the devil to make it big in the music business?
Well, that's it's a risky situation. You don't want to sell too much to the ones that they may think could make you big, but that's never going to happen. Like, those people simply, would know that, well, I've seen thousands of people like that around. And although I may be different, it's a similar thing like all artists have done. Like, you just can't, you're just not what they're looking for.
I see. So it sounds like you're not quite willing to come out and just say no.
So you would sell your soul? Is that what you mean?
As I said for the top, I only do it just as being myself.
Okay.
But
so no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't sell it. That's what
You know
said.
what? When I think about it, say you were Bob Dylan, and don't forget what happened to him, right? Like, he sold his, if he did this, I think he admitted that he may have, if he did that early in his career, like early, like in the early 60s, whatever, then he had to try to repent back and became a born-again Christian for a while. I don't know if that worked or not, but
to me, my understanding is once you sell your soul, you sell your soul. You can't. That's it. It's
that's
like
what
if
I'm
you sell
saying. That's
something,
why I
you
don't
can't
know
get
if
it
it worked
back.
or not, right?
Maybe when you die and you reincarnate.
Well, maybe
that's...
or maybe the power of Christ is absolutely unstoppable.
Well, Dylan, pretty much, lived the life that he did for a while. When he kind of decided to be a born-again Christian, I think many fans kind of turned against him for that. And, he was, they want Dylan to be always the Dylan that he knew since '65. And, here's Dylan being the protest folk rocker that everybody knew of.
Right.
And now he's singing, these, those gospel themes. And it just doesn't fit well with, with the audience that, that are not, non-believers or non-Christians. Maybe to the Christians, they adore what Bob's doing, but to the mainstream audience that have known Dylan since, Blowing in the Wind, it's like, that's not the Dylan we love.
No one love you, unless he wants to get a new audience.
But here's the thing. What gets me is that, to me, it seems like, yeah, maybe you're going to achieve, worldly success, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Is it?
Well, you know what? I think it's even more than that. I think it's about power. And I think the people who do that tend to be really insecure in who they are, so they need that approval. Because, that external approval by thousands and millions of people, because they don't feel good about themselves, so they keep looking outside of themselves, right?
Okay, Max, anyway, great to have you on the show. We're going to take a little break. Max...
Thank you for your view.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much. You can want me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, we want you anytime.
Now, what we're going to do, we're going to play a video. We're getting ready for our next guests, but there's a lot happening in London besides the Olympics. Apparently, the global leaders are congregating there, trying to figure out if they're going to have disclosure or not about the aliens.
Are we talking about the royal family?
The royal family's involved. Apparently, the Queen wants exoneration.
Well, that's because she knows
part
she's
of her
in
negotiation.
deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
She knows she's in deep doo-doo, and she wants to try to redeem herself.
Now,
but you know what? Like we said, once you sold your soul, man.
I know.
No.
We're going to play a little excerpt from, this is number 8 there. Randy, the audio, yeah. This is now Jeffrey West, who's been on the show. Do you know him?
Jeff. Yeah.
This is his radio show, and apparently they're getting ready for disclosure. They're getting ready.
Leave it to Jeff to be getting that information. He's
it's
on top of that stuff.
hot off the presses. So let's check this out.
Jeff,
we're going to come back
that.
as Like Lunch continues here on a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Making headlines for this week of July 27th. Breaking news from the Olympics in London. Reports coming in that a secret negotiation has resulted in a possible surrender and an announcement of forthcoming disclosure of the existence of our galactic families. Details will be coming through this special show, a special 3-hour edition of Cosmic Vision News, and we will be possibly taking some calls later on, so please stand by. So again, breaking news from the Olympics in London. Possible disclosure coming
With
soon.
news around, upon, within, and beyond our planet, the program making disclosure official. This is Cosmic Vision News. Here is Jeffrey West.
Greetings and blessings to all. Well, this may indeed very well be a historic day. Yeah, a lot of news appears to be breaking at the moment. Cosmic Vision News was on top of a story earlier today and was planning to report this evening that a number of signs and signals were indicating that an event was scheduled to take place on or before August the 4th, or perhaps between August 2nd and the 5th. Several crop circles had been reported over in the UK indicating that a possible event was to take place. One crop circle, a polar clock, was indicating a date and a time, showing August the 4th as a potential event date. Events are now beginning to circulate today as relating to the event as happening earlier than scheduled. and events have been taking place apparently behind the scenes all day today in London, meetings taking place between various leaders. And I'm joined with all of the team, or many of the team of Inlight Radio to support me today on Cosmic Vision News. So I've got all of them here, and we have Steve Becko, founding editor of the 2012 Scenario, Dave Schmidt, and Sierra, who host Let's Talk 2012 and Beyond. So I'll have them open up their microphones so that they can join us here. And I'll welcome you all to the show. So we've got Dave there online, and let's see, can we get Steve happening? And there we go.
Hello, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Yep.
There we go. Welcome.
Pretty exciting times, huh?
Well, it appears that history may just very well be made, and possibly even here on Cosmic Vision Radio as well. You know, for the opportunity for Inlight Radio and Cosmic Vision to potentially break the news that a potential agreement may have been reached between various leaders of the world and members of our galactic family. So my understanding is that sources have been in meeting throughout the morning, and we have Sierra on the line as well, who is able to provide some of the details of the events that have been unfolding in this historically breaking news story. Sierra, welcome to Cosmic Vision News.
Hello. Thank you for having me on today. Really happy to be here, to be reporting about what I've been participating in the last couple of days.
Absolutely. Well, as I introduced at the beginning of the show, some of the events that I had planned to be covering earlier this evening on Cosmic Vision News. Let's see. We talked about the crop circles. And certainly there were other potential signs as well, indicating that an event was going to be taking place of this nature. Wanderer of the Skies had a message out that potentially alluded to an event that was going to unfold within a specific period of time. And as I go and try and pull up my information here, I can get into this information as well. For those of you just joining Cosmic Vision News, we are following a potentially historic and breaking news event from the Olympics in London, and we will be getting details shortly from Sierra, and with commentary and follow-up from Steve Becko, Dave Schmidt, and we graciously have Suzanne manning the switchboard as well. So later on in the show, we may open up the lines for some callers. So this is a very special edition of Cosmic Vision News, a 3-hour edition. So thank you for sharing some of your time to join us. And Sierra, let's just walk through the discussion.
Okay. All right, we're back here on the show. Okay, so disclosures happening, lots happening. Potential big, hopefully not. Hopefully the Olympics are going to be smooth. But it's 2012. The Queen is trying to get... disclosure happening.
And you know what's really, really strange? Okay, there's thunder happening outside. It sounds really ominous. As we start talking about that, it gets black outside.
Yeah, it's black outside.
So you have to wonder if there's something to that, because I just looked outside. It was really sunny.
And you had a dream that the power was, we were going to do the show and there was going to be no power. So if that happens, folks, that's what happened. Okay, we have Sharmini here. Sharmini Gana.
Yes.
Right?
My full last name's Ganagaraja. It's a mouthful, so I shortened it to make it easier.
Okay, great. Well, anyway, great to meet you. And you just met Sandra today.
Yes, and it's been a wonderful couple of days of amazing synchronicities.
I don't know if we can hear that, but it was just huge thunder. I would not be surprised if the power did go out.
Mother Nature's talking.
I just love it.
I think that's approval.
I think so, too. She's opening up.
Good, because we need approval. We're hungering for approval.
But you know what? Sharmini and I mentioned through just synchronous Facebook.
Yes.
Really through Facebook.
Yes.
And but I could feel the energy. We kind of connected energetically through Facebook, I think, more than anything. And so we said, we got to meet. And guess what? Today was the day we're going to meet. And it was even not planned for you to be on the show. It was such a last minute kind of thing. It was just very cool.
Okay, so I should say a couple things. You brought a couple of DVDs in here, right?
Yes,
Sharmini?
I did.
One is called The Collective Evolution. 2, the
And
human
1.
experience.
Yes.
1, right?
Yes.
And 1.
And the first one was just called The Collective Evolution. So these are fantastic documentaries that a group of young people from Toronto, essentially a few guys and a camera. In the second documentary, some lovely ladies joined in as well. And basically, this is explaining the state of our world currently. How did we get here? And what can we do to move forward from this point to change things?
Now, is this the kind of work that you do?
Yes, this is related to the work I do as well. So I executive produce both documentaries.
Oh, you did?
And I was guided to work with this group, and it's been amazing.
Now, when you say guided, Sharmini,
yes,
what does that mean?
That means that I was on Facebook in the fall of 2010.
Well, Facebook's a channel for you, isn't it?
I think a lot of people connect through Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was just in the midst of major life changes, leaving the corporate world and following my heart and doing this work. And I was guided to look at Collective Evolution's Facebook page, and they were starting the work on the first documentary. And I knew that I had to assist and be a part of it.
Wow.
And the first documentary covers 5 different areas: religion, media, finance, food and medicine, and education, and looks at where are we in these different areas, and is what we're currently doing there working. It's an excellent documentary.
Does it talk about solutions too? Because I think we can all say it's not working.
Absolutely, absolutely. It does talk about solutions, Sandra. Thank you for asking. And the second documentary expands on that and really helps explain from an individual perspective, why are you here on this planet? What is this life about? Why do you have certain experiences? And helps people to understand that so they can see what they can do to change the world, one person at a time. The third documentary is being worked on right now. Filming is in production, traveling across Canada and the US, interviewing wonderful people who are sharing free technology, sustainable living, and that sort of things for moving forward.
Sorry, you
Go.
were going to say something?
No, do.
Okay, what I really like is that these are young people.
Young people,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, these are young people who are, I think, that new crop of kids who are just, I think they have more DNA activated or something, because they just seem to know things. They just seem to take responsibility that, you know, that the older generations did not do. No, Hugh, I'm not looking at you. But you know, they really seem to be out there, and there's a lot of kids like that. I'm seeing a lot of them like that now.
Yes.
That seem to have this greater sense of responsibility for the environment. It's not about me anymore. It's more the we thing happening.
Absolutely.
And it's so nice to see, because it's nice to know that we have some young guys behind us coming and taking over in a much more responsible, harmony type of way, right?
Yes, they're born with intuition, clairvoyance, and a connection, energetic connection to people and things and nature. They feel things that you know, we're taking time to learn how to open up to that. So they're really in tune, and they're really have to listen to their soul calling and their heart and what they came here to do. And so a lot of people are making huge career changes now. The young people have sort of said from the get-go, we're not going into those boxes everybody's been told to go into. Exactly. And we want to share.
Wow.
Okay, Sharm, so what does that mean? Let's talk about where we are collectively as a species or as individuals. Like, what is going on in the state of the world right now?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty clear that things are at a point where it has to change. For example, the ecosystem is in critical condition. You know, all you have to do is Google, look at information. Japan, Fukushima is still a really, really major issue that can cause, has already caused a lot of damage to the ecosystem, and certainly there's room for you know, explosive, catastrophic damage to the ecosystem and to nature.
And do you think they're playing it down? Because we don't hear much about it.
Absolutely. One of the things that people who start to wake up understand is media is controlled by 6 companies on the planet, control 98% of media. And so the information you're getting is very clearly streamed and very clearly screened. And so
Streamed and screened.
Yes, you're only getting a tiny bit, and you're being misled as to what the real issues are. You're being distracted to keep you busy. And that's one of the things that is looked in Collective Evolution 1, but just do your own research and Google. There's all kinds of information on the internet to show you what's really going on in the planet.
Now, are you talking Illuminati?
And talking, yes, absolutely. Controllers, you can call it whatever. There's different terms.
Well, what you don't know, Shar, is before you came on the show, and you haven't watched any of the show, the entire theme of the show today has been the Illuminati, unplanned though.
Yes,
so
it just came.
It's interesting that, you know, we've been talking about how they've been controlling, and now at the end, we're coming up with the solutions of how to combat that. So it's actually really synchronistic.
Yes, it is.
It's
and
amazing.
The solution comes from inside. This is an amazing gift. The solution is not going to come from anything outside of us. The solution is going to come from us actually doing the inner work, releasing our own traumas and painful emotions that we're all carrying around, that actually the distractions outside help you numb. And so you drink, you shop, you eat, you watch TV, you lose yourself in the dramas of life. Instead of going within and doing the work, as you do the work, you start to connect to your, what we call your higher self, but really it's just spirit in the body. And it's your intuition, it's your guidance system, and you start to have such clarity as to why you're here and how to assist with changing things. And each person that starts to do a little bit more inner work, you transform the planet, because a shift in one leads to a shift in the entire collective, as we know.
Yes.
So it's quite amazing. You were talking about the state of the world, Hugh?
Yeah.
So I think it's very clear: wars, death, starvation, running out of oil, energy. These are unsustainable practices, and obviously we need to change things, or Mother Earth's not going to be around for us, or we're going to self-destruct, one or the other.
People talk about the Illuminati, and whether or not you want to believe in that, whether or not you want to talk about a conspiracy, it certainly seems like we could be doing things a little bit better.
Yeah, we can all agree on that.
But one of
the
things, when you talk about the Illuminati, some people say, it's all a big, all the wars.
Yes.
Are all power games. It's not the nations. People don't want to fight, and nations don't want to fight. But it's all power plays. Whether that's power play for, oil, or power play for control,
power, money,
or
control,
whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's like, how can we overcome? It seemed very tied to the money system, right?
Yes, it is. It's money
actually,
and power.
I have the answers for all these questions that I'm asking. And since I'm the interviewer, Sharmini, but what do we do? Like, how can we how can we overcome? Because sometimes it seems that these barriers, if we can even identify them properly, are so seem so insurmountable.
Is this what you do?
Right.
Is this what you help people to deal with these kinds of things?
Yes, Sandra. I actually help people who are on the awakening path to this information. Part of waking up is learning about the Illuminati, the control structure, and most people who wake up will go into a state where they become what I call manic about that. I went through that myself. Watching all kinds of conspiracy theories on the internet, educating myself, and then feeling really exhausted and really, what can I do?
You feel disempowered, you get all paranoid about it, and then...
So it's really important to balance awareness with now understanding that this is part of the game we chose to play here on planet Earth. This is a massive playground. It's the most advanced playground for souls to come, for soul expansion and growth. And the Illuminati are playing a role that we all agreed to in this game.
So we hired them, in essence, right?
We all agreed, yes. You can call it hired. I would say it's an agreement that we all said, okay, we would like to experience something called polarity and duality. We would like to experience the depths of darkness and suffering on a human level, which Earth is the most sensorial planet in the universe. And so we would like to have the end extreme. And so we said, let's do it. You guys are going to play this role, we'll play this role, and that will help us to wake up when we get to a point that we can no longer sustain this, and we no longer want to do this game anymore. We want to change the game to one of more love and peace. And so the way to do that, Hugh, you were talking about how do we change it, is understanding and learning, doing your own work to know that the outside is a reflection of the mass consciousness inside. So this planet is a reflection of our internal chaos as a mass consciousness, as a collective. Every single person that does their work to clear their stuff and to connect to the true peace that is your inner state shifts the mass consciousness to one of a more peaceful and loving one, and that will be reflected on the outside. Now, if you focus on the outside, there's a lot of chaos right now, and it's going to get more chaotic.
How do you know?
Let's talk
Why?
about that.
Yes.
Let's
Time's moving faster, and it's because we're in something called purge and clear.
Okay, so what is that, and what's going to happen to people who don't do this? Like, is everybody going to have to do this, or where are we going? Where is everybody going? Is everybody going to the same place, or?
Right, everybody's wherever they need to be on a soul level. There's no judgment. So whether you want to wake up or stay asleep or not change or change a little bit and then go back to what you were, there's no judgment. Life is like a movie, and you are making this as you go along. You are the writer, the director, and the main star. You make no mistakes. So essentially, the choices are there. They're always ours. And it's a process of, if you would like to move forward, if you feel the calling, really what happens is you can't live that life anymore that you were living. You will have a head-on car accident. You will get a cancer diagnosis. You will lose your job and all your material possessions. Your relationship will end. You will have a tremendous clean out that will lead you to question this thing that you thought was life and the way you were living, and will lead you on a path of asking questions. And if you are ready and open, you will attract the right answers, and you will start to do this inner work.
So then is 2012 significant?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's significant in that Hugh was asking, how do we know about timelines or this speeding up of the soul cleanse and purge? And we're all feeling that time is moving faster.
I think that's absolutely.
If we could measure time from 100 years ago, what was then 24 hours, we're now living in about a 12-hour day. If you were to actually measure it equivalent.
Wow, so we're doing twice as much in half the time.
That's right.
Wow.
And that's why many
that's
of us,
mind-boggling.
yes, are feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. And so what's happening is this is speeding up is all part of each person being forced to look at what is really important in my life, because everything is overwhelming me. I can't do it all. I feel like I'm losing my sanity, and these are all wake-up calls. The soul is pushing all of us. Start asking questions. Start educating yourself. Empower yourself. Be change. Be the change you want to see on this planet, and you can do it. And as you change, you affect many around you, not even speaking, just energetically. It's amazing.
Okay, let me ask you a question, a very basic question, but based on all that, like, because people who are going through these changes, right, they think their life's about one thing, and then
you get the wake-up call.
Somebody pulls the rug out from under it all, and it's switched to Plan B time.
Yeah.
So my question is, what is important?
What is important is universally important, and that is letting go of all the stories and the drama and the programs, which are belief systems that have been imposed on us from birth, and that society greatly reinforces, the media reinforces, about you are a job, you are a job title or an education, all these degrees, or your car, an expensive car you may drive or own. You are these things that are outside of you. And what is really important is going within. And who is Hugh? Who is Sandra? Who is Sharmini? What do we really want? What makes us feel good? What can we do to fulfill what truly feels from our heart is our life purpose? And that's going to be different for everybody, but the basis, and this might sound corny, is going to be love. The basis will always be love. It is a love that most of us can't even comprehend, far beyond this 3D world we live in here. It's an unconditional, expansive, massive love.
So as you say that, it just makes me think, are we making it harder than it has to be?
Wow,
Because
that's a great question.
That seems so simple.
I think that we are, and at the same time, we have been put in boxes. We've been put in programs, been put into these situations from birth where you are taught, and it's reinforced at every level constantly. So it's very challenging.
Well,
but it's a simple concept.
One of the things that strikes me when we talk about, maybe it's so simple as love, right? But we have to pay the bills.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We have to pay the bills every month. There's no escaping that.
Yes.
And if we look at the system, the financial system, we see that it's a rigged game.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes, it is.
living within
it's lose.
We're living within that system. We're essentially all slaves to the system. Period.
Yes, we are.
Right?
Yes, we are.
So,
yes.
why,
How do you get out of that?
How do you get out of that? Is you start doing the inner work. You have to make massive changes in your life. So people are very afraid. Having gone through this myself, got out of corporate, had graduate degree, MBA, all this stuff. I was living what I thought was the life that everybody, aspired to, or most people aspired to. And I was tremendously unhappy, to the point that I was feeling toxic inside. I knew that I was either going to get cancer or some kind of serious illness, or have an accident, something, because I was just so unhappy. But that was a gift. It brought me to the brink of mental breakdown, of depression. That was the greatest gift of my life, because it forced me to overcome the fear that I've been having for years to change my life. I said for years I was unhappy.
But did you think you were going crazy, though,
Yes,
Sharmini?
I
Because
did.
Here
Yes,
you're thinking,
I did.
I've got this wonderful job, I've got this great career, I've got all these degrees, and why am I not happy? And so, did you think you were?
Yes, Sandra, and again, that's an excellent question, because the programming and the societal reinforcement, everybody else, I realize, is like a zombie or a robot. They're going through the motions. They're sleeping. And as I was waking up, I was made to feel, and you are made to feel, because you don't fit in, you're no longer normal. Now I'm crazy. So how come other people have this great corporate job and are happy and manage their kids? I was single, no children, and I was going crazy. I was working all the time. I couldn't handle it anymore.
Wow.
And you will feel crazy, and that's part of the wake-up call. Embrace it. There is no such thing as normal.
So what changed for you
Yes.
where you realize I'm not crazy,
Yes.
the system is crazy?
That's
what
right.
gave you the confidence? What was that? Was there anything, a defining moment for you?
It was going for counseling, reading on the internet, educating and empowering myself, finding others who are like me on Facebook or in like-minded groups, and then learning more about the system and this rigged system, this experience we've all agreed to, and how it's been operating and why things are the way they are, and realizing that other people are also awakening to this. And so it's connecting with like-minded people, and that really helped me.
But do you have to be fearless to do this?
I think you have to step into your fear for sure,
Yeah,
Sandra, because
yeah.
there's no change where you stay where you are.
All right, now Sandra and I have been talking about some of this stuff a little bit, and you said to me, Sandra, that there's going to be something. There's going to be some tense times, some challenging events, or whatever, right? So that may or may not happen. But Sharmini, say something horrible does happen.
Yes.
It's like some horrible 9/11 type event. We won't say where, but say something like that does happen, and all of a sudden those powers that be start to put the pressure on big time, on people, on us. What are we going to do? What should we do?
Yes, what we're going to do is connect more and more to your inner guidance, because your inner guidance, just like your intuition, when you're in the elevator or you are about to get in the elevator and something says don't get in that elevator, you listen to that. When something says be careful in this underground parking garage, you listen to that, or you learn to listen to that as you awaken. So what we all need to do is connect more to this inner guidance that is there. It will tell you when to leave wherever you are if it is unsafe. It will tell you where to go. It will tell you what to do, and also to prepare a little bit, but there's no need for paranoia, because the other part of it, Hugh and Sandra, is accepting that if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. You can run from it, and death is not something to be feared. You're wearing, you know, quote unquote, a meat suit here. You're a spirit with a suit, just like you put on your clothes, you pick up your car and you drive somewhere, you take this suit and you go to different places and you have different experiences. And when you start to do this inner work, you move past the mania of the Illuminati and the fear and anger that we all go through as part of awakening, and you start to connect to the peace, and you feel the change, and you will see your life shift into a more peaceful place. You will also see others come around you and say, what are you doing? That you have found this more peaceful state, and that seems that your life is flowing more smoothly, whereas before it was all over the place. And this is the inner work. You clear out this and the outside will shift. We are creators here. We are creating from the inside. And so when you start to do that work, everything will change outside. So in a massive event like that, what I would say is start to do this inner work. Go to nature. Unplug from your devices. Take Facebook and internet sabbaticals, even 2 weeks. Don't check email as often. It will slow down. You will see your life slow down. Try to meditate a little. You don't have to do it the way a book says to do it. Just go in nature, close your eyes and breathe.
Hug a tree. Do you hug trees, Hugh?
Absolutely.
Do you
Take
hug
off
trees?
your shoes, get your bare feet on the grass. This is a beautiful time of year to do this. And before the new cycle starts, December 21st, all that's going to mean is that time is now going to move extremely fast in order for real cleanse and purge. So we will see some huge things happen on this planet that nobody knows, because it's
like what?
We don't know what's going to happen, because
depends on the collective conscious.
It depends on the collective conscious, which at every moment is shifting. There could be melting of, you know, the polar ice caps. There will be major things, you know, geographical earthquakes. There could be other incidents. It doesn't matter, because when you really understand that you're not in charge except for how you respond to something, then you find a place of peace in that.
And when you don't fear death, like you said, when there is no death, you know what? It doesn't matter. You're just going to graduate a little sooner than others are graduating, right?
That's right. The
So-
more you hold on to everything here, the more you're attached to my car, my loved ones, my life, this sort of thing, the more challenging it will be for you, because the lesson, the ultimate enlightenment, is to understand you're not attached to anything here. You know, Buddha says everything is temporary, so don't get used to it, because somebody could be here tomorrow and be gone, be here today and be gone tomorrow. Same with a job, same with the beautiful car, the diamond ring, whatever it is. There's no happiness in external things. It must be an inside job. And
Just like 9/11.
An inside job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about you, Shar, and what you're doing. So how are you? You said that you had kind of people find their purpose, and I think you found yours. It certainly sounds like it.
Yes.
So what do you do? What is a day in the life of
Shar? Well, basically, I really did a lot of inner work, and it's an ongoing journey, because it's part of being human is experiencing this beautiful roller coaster, this ride, up, down, sideways, upside down, and I'm learning.
out.
Yes, inside out, and learning not to judge it and embrace it. So a lot of my work has been doing my inner work, and then sharing, and then connecting with groups like Collective Evolution, like Masterpiece Life and Franco Di Nicola, you know, and providing all this information. I was guided to provide it all free. And you talk about paying the bills, Hugh, I want to tell you, I mean, I literally, you have to change your life completely. So I
your
sold
standard
my
living.
I sold my home, and I was so prepared to find peace that I said, I don't care if you need to simplify and downsize. We all do. Because these things create a lot of baggage and chains and an albatross around your neck. And you will feel lighter when you are able to part with things, knowing that one day when you do leave this body, you take nothing with you. You take nothing except your soul. And the memory of what kind of person you were while you were on this planet.
But that is so such a big step for a lot of people. That's jumping into the abyss, because to just it's one thing if you lose your house or you lose your job or your partner or what have you, but when you actually do it yourself.
That's right.
Wow, that must be the most empowering but fearful thing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like two sides of the same coin. I guess that's that duality I think you're talking about.
Very scary.
But I mean, so it's probably the best thing you ever did, or?
Absolutely. Are you kidding? Now I say if the bus comes tomorrow and it's my turn to get on and go, I'm a pretty happy camper because I'm doing what I know I want to do and what I came here to do, and I still have challenging days and I still have my emotional days, and that's all perfect because I'm learning so much as I go through it more and more, not to judge it and just to embrace it, and that's what I tell people. So now everything I do is free. I was guided to do that. I sold my home and donated a significant portion of my life savings to this work and to charity, and I have gotten so much back.
See why I love
so
her.
much
You
back.
see that?
So
Wow.
much back.
Wow.
Things that money can never buy. I am far richer than any amount of money would ever.
And you know
would
what?
ever buy me.
And what you're saying, I don't know about Hugh. I don't know about you, Hugh, but it's so powerful, and I can really feel it to the point where it makes me verklempt.
Verklempt.
Yes.
Truly,
Yes.
it does.
Yes.
It feels like it's right there.
It's right there. Living from here, living from the heart, you cannot go wrong. It is incredible. And I still have challenges. I have rude people. I have situations where people will have outbursts. But I'm able to step back and see the bigger picture. And I understand everything is happening for my soul learning and expansion. If I'm being triggered by somebody, I know it's about me. I gotta look at my stuff, because when I do the inner work and I take care of all the fires that are inside, nobody can light a match or pour gasoline if there's nothing to be lit up.
And you know what? Then you become so powerful, nobody can do anything to you because you allow it.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
And you just have so much peace learning this information. You let go of grudges and resentments. I have a good friend that said a grudge is like letting somebody live rent-free in your head. You know, the only person it
That's
hurts
really good.
is you. Exactly.
That's
You
really
learn
good.
that everything here is a dance. You actually ask for certain experiences on a soul level where you have no judgment. Nothing is good or bad. And this other loving soul said, I'll do that to you. I'll break up with you, dump you, and take all your stuff and leave you with nothing. And you said, thank you. And the other soul, I love you so much. I'll do that. I'll risk you hating me, and I will be this villain to you. And you will learn from this if you choose to learn from it. If you keep the victim mentality, you will continue in the victim role and suffer, and things will get more dramatic. But if you choose to do the work and you're able to see the bigger picture, you are able to release things that free you. That's real freedom to me.
Okay, well, we're just about out of time here, Sharmini, but it's been great to have this conversation. Now, you've produced the DVD, and we're going to give, we should tell people how they can get their hands on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Or both of them, because there's two of them. And also, but before
and the third one to come. Maybe we can have them on the show when they do the third one.
That'd be awesome.
I think I talked to these guys once.
You
Something
did.
happened.
I actually met them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love them so much. I hugged them. I mean, I'm a hugger anyway, but I just couldn't help it.
You
They were
felt it.
so beautiful.
You felt
So
it.
yeah, we'd love to have them on and talk about that. But
They
also,
would love
besides
that.
this work that you do,
Yes.
do you have a website or something? Does
Yes.
people contact you?
Absolutely.
For stuff?
I do have a website. My website is www.sharminigana.com, and I can spell it out.
Yes,
That
that's
would
a good
be easier.
idea.
SharminiGana.com. So it's full of free information. The movies are available free online. They've gotten over 100,000 views each on YouTube and have come out less than a year ago. As well, tons of articles, links to Collective Evolution's website where you can buy the DVD, support the work. Free seminars or extremely low-cost seminars that Collective Evolution puts on in conjunction with Masterpiece Life, Franco Di Nicola, all these people who really just want to spread this information and help help
Franco Di Nicola is an amazing individual. Maybe we can have him on sometime. Would he come on?
He would love to come on, Sandra
Okay.
and Hugh. That would be such a gift. He is in both documentaries, and the information he presents is really incredibly clarifying and brings one a great deal of peace. And it's really up to each person to, again, feel it out for yourself. Don't just believe what somebody else says. Feel it out. Feeling is the new way of being, not thinking.
I
Has
feel
to come
ya.
with feeling.
I feel you,
All
Char.
right.
We're moving from I think therefore I am to I feel
I love
therefore
it.
I am.
You
That's where
really
we
are. You gotta, when all the lights are out and there's no electricity, you have got to feel your way through it energetically.
And that may just happen in the next few minutes with the thunder that's happening.
So far, we've been in good luck here. We've
Yes,
had good
we have.
energy on our
We
side,
have
I'd
had
say.
amazing energy.
Yes.
Okay, well, Sharm, this is great. We'll got to have you back sometime. Thanks for coming in
Thank
today.
you so much. We could
Thank
talk
you.
forever. There's
Thank
so
you.
much.
I just want to say a huge thanks to both of you for being open, having me on, and for the wonderful work you do in spreading information here. It's
Well,
fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so
Star
that's
power.
it. That's it for the show. Hey,
Awesome.
Sandra.
Awesome show.
Yay.
And just want to remind people again for the Superstars contest, Superstars with a Z.ca. Hook up with Val and
Yes.
get that going on. And we'll see y'all tomorrow at noon for more Liquid Lunch right here on ThatChannel. Oh, before we go, should we tell people about your event Thursday?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, just
go
say
ahead.
quickly.
Okay, it's Thursday at United Bloor Street United Church, 300 Bloor Street West, by St. George Subway Station, and the topic is Consciousness Rising Anew. Stands for a No Ego World, bringing Fifth Dimension here now.
Fabulous. Okay,
At 7 o'clock.
perfect.
Awesome. Hope to see you guys there.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow for more Liquid Lunch right here on ThatChannel.com. See you then.
In the open, okay? And so there has been a plan laid out, and there has been some disruption in the time frame of the plan. And it's frustrating because there are portals, there are energy markers through the entire year of 2012. There are certain planetary alignments, and there are certain energy opportunities for human beings to jump, just do some tremendous jumping in their consciousness, okay? Leaps of evolution in their consciousness. And that has been happening up to a certain point, but what we're trying, we, meaning the galactics and the angelics, have been working hand in hand on this, is trying to get as many people aware as much as they can before the date of December 21st, 2012, okay? There are several other portal moments. There are several other opportunities, major opportunities, timelines, time markers, as it were, all the way through 2012. And August 4th is a huge one, okay? And so what we're trying to do is have people become aware enough before August 4th or right around the time of August 4th so that many more of the human people will have the opportunity to raise their consciousness and make the shift, okay?
Right.
So I will take a pause there so you can ask any questions if you'd like.
Sure, yeah. For those listeners who are just joining in, this is a special edition of Cosmic Vision News where we will be covering details of a potential deal that has been struck in the background between various leaders of the world and members of our galactic family. We're just getting some of the background information right now from Sierra Neblina, who is a Pleiadian walk-in. She's co-host along with Dave Schmidt of the